Hello, this is a video on the construction and debt sizing. I had suggested to do this in the last exercise, but it turned out to be too long now. I put a couple of our assumptions and our sources and uses and some of our IRRs and our credit statistics along with the graph we made. So it looks like our model is coming together. That's the good news, and we'll move some of these assumptions around, put these assumptions in a separate page, and I suppose it's kind of okay. But now the last part can be the deadly nightmare. Here's the first nightmare. Let's say that, well, this applied debt, I kind of cheated with this. I just multiplied the 80% times the construct capital expenditures. If I multiplied the 80% times the total down here, oh no, we get the dreaded blue lines. Oh no, and look at all of those things. There are probably a lot more of them. Oh, so that's a problem. And then the next problem is I'm going to put 400,000 here, something like that. The next problem is, well, we might want to size the debt with the debt service coverage ratio. When we do the debt service coverage ratio down here, the DSCR is 1.4. Oh, good news. Okay. But we were aiming for 1.3. Maybe we can put some more debt in the project. What happens if we put 500,000 of debt? Well, then the debt service coverage is going to be lower, I assume. Okay, and it's now too low. So we want to just kind of find the two things. Now the bank's going to take whatever is left. So there are problems with both of these. And here's how we're going to solve the problem. Number one, we're going to make a goal seek. But that means that every time you do anything, you have to run the goal seek. That means if you'd want to make a goal seek on the price of electricity and the financing, you couldn't do that. You'd have to try the solver, which would be an immense pain, or do something else. So after we use the goal seek, we're going to show you this function method again. Really part of the circular reference page. And I suppose, why don't we do this? Let's put in this column a fixed amount. Okay, so this is going to be fixed to get rid of the circular references. And just next to that, we computed. Don't think this is going to be a copy and paste where we copy from the fixed to the computed. This is going to be slightly different. There's a goal seek, and we'll put the difference. Can I spell that word? That's so complicated to spell. I'm going to move this temporarily up here. Eventually, we'll put it down here. Now our computed debt is the 80% multiplied by the total, which is this 507. I think I just put it here. So the difference between the computed and this debt is 7,000. If I put 500,000, 507, it would of course work. But why don't we just make a goal seek, set this one to 0 by changing this number? Now, if we make a goal seek, let's name this DIF, and we have to put an underscore 1, DIFFER 1. The reason is DIF is a cell somewhere. I know that because I've made that mistake about 80 times. I can't seem to remember it. Okay, and we're gonna get, well, why don't we put fixed? If I put fixed 1, that would have the same thing. So I'll put fixed 1. Hopefully that won't mess it up. Okay, and let's then run the goal seek, but we'll switch the macro on here. And why don't I call goal seek 1? Okay, and all we'll do is set that difference. Data, what if analysis, goal seek, set the difference to 0 by changing the fixed amount. Okay. Oof, is it go really so slowly that I'll have to? No, it wasn't that. Okay. That's method number 1. All right, and so here's the horrible part of this. Every time, perhaps why don't we? Are we in developer? No, let's go to developer and insert and put a tiny little thing here. Find that. Call that goal seek 1. Okay. How about I'll leave that? No. Why did? Okay. There. Now, when we, I think, when we edit this, assign macro, edit, we can change. Oh, I don't know why. Did I do that really? That we don't want. And we have to remember what we called that. So we changed we set the difference 1 to 0 by changing the fixed 1. Is that what we did? And people who are good at the macros love to kind of we can kind of see what we have there. DIFER1, fixed 1. You probably could remember this. I didn't. Okay. There we go. DIF. Is that what oh. This is so embarrassing. Okay. Alright. And we don't even have to save it really. Okay. And let's make sure it works. It's taking, it's really clunking along, isn't it? So if we change this to 60%, we'd have a big difference, and we'd have to rerun the macro. I think you could do this with a copy and paste macro as well. Just a horrible thing. Now let's do the same thing slightly differently with our debt service coverage ratio. This time the computed debt service coverage ratio we could take from the ratios we just developed. Okay. And we could say, well, the fixed debt will still put some money in here, 400,000. I suppose with this, some people say, this should be a very special color. So we'll compute, this time the difference will be the debt service coverage versus the target debt service coverage. Okay, and we can make another goal seek. This time, let's call this, do you think I'll remember this? DIFFER2. And then we want to set that, and we call this fixed 1, and we'll call this fixed 2. And there'll be a little button here. Let's make this one a little smaller so the top one will fit. And then we'll compute. We'll do the same process. So let's make a goal seek 2. Okay, and in our goal seek 2, let's go to our data. What if analysis goal seek, set the difference to a value of 0, change in the fixed amount of the debt, press OK. You could do this with some sort of goal seek again. Look how it's clunking along, and this time, oh, this is really bad news. I know why it's bad news. I was an idiot. Cancel. Okay. I think we can stop recording the goal seek's okay, but what we have to do is decide which one of these to take. And we can put applied. And let's put, gosh, this is slow. True. This is just because of the record and equal not. So we can either, we can apply that first one or the second. So if I put false here, second one's going to be true. And this time, why don't we make our applied debt equal if it's, well, if this is true, then we'll take this one, otherwise this one, okay? And now we need to adjust the model a little bit. So we computed this, I think this debt we took, this it says G14, this should have been G16. Okay, and then when we go down to the pro forma, this debt, it's almost worth kind of doing something special with this debt, because that's really the driver of the whole model. Come on. So let's take this one, and remember this one, we just take it and multiply it by our funding ratio percentages. Remember, we now have to also adjust this for I'm going to put it here as well. Okay. Perhaps you could argue that I should be, there should be something much more straightforward about this. Draws during, why is this F1? Oh, that's just the same number. Okay. And that's it. I think unless on the DSCRs and LLCRs, I think we, why is that 376? Oops, this should have been, let's just take this straight from the sources and uses statement. That would be the most logical place for this. And the rest is fine. Okay, so now let's go and modify our macro just a little bit again. Okay, and this time we can go to goal seek 1, and I guess when it didn't work, it didn't record the goal seek, so we might as well do it manually. Okay. Okay. And this was difference 2, and this was fixed 2. Okay, and now let's write a little code to, well, I was thinking we could do both, but it's actually almost not worth it. And we could put an if statement and only do this if it's true. So we could put, how about 1 and then I'm just making range name 2, applied to, and we look and we say, we can just say if range, don't forget that we're double inverted commas, if range applied 1, then the goal 6, so we won't make this mistake. Okay, let's copy this to this one and put applied 2, and if, and finish that. Okay. Okay, I think I can finish this off. I just added a button. So if we press this one, and let's say we get away with a 1.2 times coverage ratio, then we can support 457 versus a debt, which is still less than 80% constraint. So we couldn't actually get 80% debt into the project. Why did that? I think if we put true here, oh, that's just, then we have no difference. So we can press 1 or 2 and try each different method. Now, the problem with this is you have to press the button each time. If I wanted to do a goal sig, excuse me, and find the revenues that would give us a IRR of 8%, just to really bid aggressively, or 7% maybe we can bid aggressively. This comes down because of the tax depreciation. Then I'd want to, every time we change this, we'd have to redo the debt because it would affect the debt service coverage ratio. We'd have to do goal seek here, goal seek there, goal seek here, goal seek there. That gets to be painful, and there's a painful way to fix this, and that's in these ones we can replace these fixed amounts with this function. And I'm going to switch off the video for a while now and write the function and come back to you and just describe it, because I'll swear way too loudly if otherwise. Now remember, these videos, I think, don't really do everything. They're meant to be supplement to the courses, and you can get very reasonable courses that will, I think, they're fun, I hope, not exactly really fun, but okay, and whatever. Okay, enough advertising. Okay, stop.